Hi everyone and welcome. It's Lillian here from Stamper's Niche. I'm coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that just loves to share ideas with you. So glad that you're joining us tonight or on Facebook later. It's a wonderful end of summer night here. It's still very warm, which is unusual, but there's a hint of fall in the air. And we enjoyed a nice barbecue tonight. So if you were to have a barbecue or to eat a barbecue, what's one of your favorite things to have that's cooked on the barbecue? For me, believe it or not, is actually a burger. It's hands down one of my favorite things to barbecue, although I do like ribs pretty well. So share what you like to have that's been barbecued. And let's just go down to my desk. And as I'm doing that, remember, if you hit that share button or leave a comment or something, that all will help me a whole lot. And your friends can then enjoy it too. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button as well, and that will be wonderful. So let's go down to my desk, and I see some comments coming in about what you like on the barbecue seafood. Ooh, I do like seafood too. Oh, I'm just going to be hungry. I should not have asked that question, likely, right? Anyway, so let me just make sure that we're visible on the computer and that we're all set to go. So one of the things to remember is that August is almost over, and that means a lot of things. It means back to school, and it means all different things. But one of the main things that it means is that celebration is almost over. Celebration will be over the end of August, which is Wednesday. Can you believe that? I can't. I just can't believe it. So celebration, there are items in this catalog here, all kinds of wonderful items that I've shown you many times. And there are items here that you can earn for free. So for every $60 you spend, you can earn one of these items for free. So it is a perfect time to stretch your dollars a little bit. So last week I showed you this, and I forgot to draw the name for the card from last week. So I will have to announce it next week. But here is the card I made with that die last week, and we used this one the week before. So there are all kinds of wonderful things here that can really enhance your crafting. Just trying to make sure that I am live, and I am, so that's good. And I just have to share it to my page, or to my group, pardon me, so that the people watching there can see it too. So there's celebration. Don't miss out. And remember, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you live in Canada and would like to order from me, this is my hostess code right here. So here's my website. You can go there and you can place your order. And if your order is less than $200, if you could use that hostess code, that would be really helpful. So let's that was that little bit. So we'll get rid of that. Something else that I wanted to mention is World Card Making Day. So this is happening October 1st, and that's why staycation, this date got changed. So World Card Making Day, Stampin' Up! Is having an online event for everybody, demonstrators, stampers, everybody. And so you can use what you have, or you could use a bundle that they're going to use. So one is called Cottage Rose. And so here's the bundle. I'll bring it up a little closer that you might have. So this is available for purchase now. Here's another bundle, this Cottage Wreaths bundle, which I really, really like. And then there's a new bundle that's going to be available beginning September 1st. So this is called Warm Welcome. And if you order any of these bundles before October 1st, your Stampin' Up! Will include a package of iridescent pearl basic jewels. So just a little heads up that is coming. And that being said, that is why Stamping Staycation is Saturday, September 24th, and registration opened today. And lots and lots of people have already registered. So yay, you guys are awesome. If you want to register with me, here is the link, and I'll put it in the description afterwards, and you can then just click on it. Lots of things on my Facebook page and group and in YouTube today, sharing ways to sign up, saying what it's all about. So just be aware that that's starting, and the sooner you sign up, the better, because there are even pre-event things happening and tutorials and that kind of thing. So you'll want to be ready and to be prepared for that. Now, as you know, I love to look at the layout of things. So I often share a card layout. In fact, every Friday I share a card layout on my Facebook, in my Facebook group. But I wanted to do a new one, new card layout, new to me. And I'm going to use the Soft Seedlings stamp set because it is approaching fall, and this is just so perfect. I know I've used it a couple of weeks ago. It is such a gorgeous stamp set. The words are fabulous, the fonts are great, and the stamps are amazing as well. So I just wanted to bring that in, and one of the cards that I have made using it is this one here. So it uses the Rustic Harvest designer paper, some vellum, a layer of cardstock, and then this gorgeous stamp here. So it's absolutely beautiful, and you can't see it likely, I don't know, but in the background I even used the leaf embossing folder, that new one that's sort of diagonal, and so the designer paper is also embossed, and then I did a little bit of it on the corner of the envelope. So we're going to use this layout. We're going to use the same measurements, but we're going to use a different paper and get a totally different look. So while I'm doing that, what would you use this card for? I've kept it pretty generic. I've said for you. So what would you use this card for? Who would you send it to and why? I guess it's the why is what I'm looking for. And so while you're typing that in, I'm going to bring in, I think I'll bring in the paper that we're going to use first. And it's just so you can have a chance to look. So now we're bringing in the paper, and now it's all very vanilla type of stuff, right? So we've got the envelope. And the card base, we'll start with that, is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now I will have all of the materials I'm using for this card and the measurements in Wednesday's newsletter. I'm going to change my newsletter to Wednesday so that some of you have time to sign up for the newsletter if you don't already have it. So let's just do our folding there right off the bat and get that done. And what I'm sharing tonight is a technique, and it's a technique that I really, really enjoy. So there's our card base. We'll put that to the side. Then we have our card layer. That's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to emboss that in a minute. Then I've got the vellum layer, which is 3 5/8 by 4 1/2. Now, if you're not an eighths person, you can tweak this all you want. But I just wanted it to sort of fit on the front of the card. So like that. I better take that off. And then, this is my first time for using this distressed gold. So it's 3 1/8 by 4. This paper is gorgeous. It's nice and soft. It's quite flexible. And look at all the detail on that. So let me just bring in the, meant to have it handier, a 12 by 12 sheet so that you can see it in all its glory, because it truly is glorious. So look at that, and look at how it just, you can roll it or whatever. So yes, I am using that, and I'm going to be using it a whole lot more. And then I've got a piece of very vanilla that is 2 7/8 by 3 3/4. And then I've got a little bit of this ribbon that's new in the mini catalog. It is called Satin Edged Ribbon. So there's the number right there. If some of you are ribbon people, you can color this ribbon as well, but it's a nice, soft, easy to use ribbon. So that is the ribbon, and we'll put that to the side. Now, before we do anything, I am going to, well, I'm going to show you here. This piece of paper is largely going to be covered up. And this is such gorgeous paper that I don't want to waste any of, whoo, sorry about that. Hope you're not seasick. I don't want to waste any of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my paper trimmer, and I could put it at, I think I'll do 1/2 inch. So this is 4 inches. I'm going to start in at 1/2 inch. There are measurements on this side. So I'm going to put my blade down there. Now the edges of your blade tool have little marks, and that's showing you where the blade is underneath. So I'm going to put it down there and go to 1/2. See, a little tricky seeing through the camera. And then go here and just do this and keep going down to 1/2, lining it up at 1/2. And once I've done the first one, I can line up with the cut, and then I can use that other piece on another project. I could have also punched something out or used a die cut, but this way I've got a nice square piece that I can use, and I'm using every speckle of this fabulous paper. So I didn't quite slide it all the way there. There we go, just like that. And so this is for another project. So we'll put that to the side. So we've got this. So let's do our embossing first, and then we can get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of the way. So the embossing folder I am using is called the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder, and I love it because it just kind of, it falls just right across, diagonally across your paper. So I want it to fall diagonally this way. So I'm going to put it like that. I'll bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And all I'm going to use is the platform number 1 right there, and then the specialty plate. So number 4, and I'm going to put the fold going in first. I don't like to put the fold on the sides because sometimes they rub on the sides and then the embossing folder kind of gets sliced in half. I have done it when I really want to emboss that direction, but I'm extremely careful. So there we go. So there, I just love that. While we've got it out, I'm going to do the envelope. So I'm opening my envelope up, and I am going to just catch the corner of that. And again, I'm putting it in with the fold going first. I better bring that back here. The Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine goes both ways, but there's just not enough room on my desk to do that. So we will do like that. And get this out of the way. And now we've got the envelope. Wouldn't that just make you happy just to get the envelope? I know some of you do this quite often, emboss the envelope flap, and it really, really is so pretty. Now, you can either, well, I think I'll show you the card now. This is the card we're going to make. So a totally different look, same stamp set, exactly the same layout. So let me bring this back in. Look at them side by side. Don't you love that? I love how if you come up with one idea, you can use it for a multitude of purposes. So you could put this layer on dimensionals. I'm not going to because I'm putting some other layers on and that likely is enough. So I can glue this right down. I'm not going to be putting ribbon around it or anything. So we can do that right off the bat. Just center it a little bit. Now, I got the idea for this card. I want to give her credit. I got the idea from Amy Rich. Now, I've changed a few things, but it's basically her design. And then this one was just my take on it as well. So thank you, Amy Rich. Kudos out to you for that. So here we've got this. Now we're going to put that to the side. And we're going to do our stamping. So let's bring this in. Now you can stamp just using your large block. That works perfectly, but we're going to use the Stamparatus and I am going to show you why. So I'll bring in our stamp. So we've got our stamp. And then I'm going to tuck this underneath to make a little platform. Sorry, we're getting a bit of reflection there. Let me see if I can turn this somewhere else. There we go. And then, so I've got my tissue to do the rubbing with. I'm going to bring my magnets in, and I always try to keep them far apart. These magnets used to be longer, but they were attracted to each other, and they had a little oops. So just keep them far apart. Some people ask what I have on here. I have duct tape to make little handles with. So just like that. Why am I not putting this in the corner? I find I get a better impression if I keep my stamps a little bit away from the hinges. So I've done that and I just put a mark there. Now I'm going to make a plan. If I was not going to put words on, I would likely do it more at an angle. But I want to put for you here. So I want to give myself room. So I am going to, now I think I will have room down there. Going to have a plan. I always have plans, but they don't always work out. Okay, so now I've got my clean stamp in position. I'm just going to pick it up with this, and this works just like your block, right? Okay, so some of you have seen me do this before, but some of you haven't. So we're having a review, and it's a technique that is just, it's just so much fun. It's trying to clear some space here. So I'm going to use crumb cake ink. I should open it up as I tell you. Crumb cake, Mary Merlot. Now you could use whatever colors you want, but I was thinking of the colors that are found in this paper here, and they seem like good fall colors. Cajun Craze, little pumpkin pie would have looked good too, but I didn't get it out. And crushed curry. When in doubt, add a little yellow to add a little life and sunlight to a card, right? So I've got that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up the stems and the little seedlings with my ink pad. I'm going to, well, okay, Mary Merlot. I should have had these sorted. Bring in my dauber and just do a little bit more. I picked up some crumb cake ink and just added it in like that. So now I'm going to put it over, and you can press with your hands. I just find putting a tissue under my fingers makes everything flow smoothly. So we've got it like that. You might say, well, that looks a little wonky. That's okay. It's going to be covered up. Now, if I was doing this on a block, I would do all this inking at once and then huff some warm air, moist breath on it and do it that way. And I'll show you on a different stamp how to do it that way. But if you have the Stamparatus, this works beautifully. So I just cleaned that off. Now I'm going to bring in my lightest color, crushed curry, and a dauber for my crushed curry. And the reason I'm starting with my lightest color is because sometimes the colors contaminate a little bit. And oh, you know what? I think I'm going to add some crushed curry just at the end of those seedlings, just to add a little bit of life to them. And now we'll bring this over And where did I do with the tissue? There it is. There. Well, it's starting to take shape, right? And I don't need to clean it if I'm going from lightest to darkest. I'll bring in my Cajun craze the next time. And now I am going to add some Cajun craze here, there, and everywhere. Maybe I've added it in a few places that I shouldn't have, but we will find out. And let's do the same thing. Bring it over, give it a rub, and we're just adding color to our image. And now we're going to go with a bit of Mary Merlot. And it looks like it needs to be down in this area here, like that. And every time you do this, it's going to turn out differently, just because you're never going to hit the same space twice. Now, you might be concerned about this white space here. The stamp is designed for that. It is designed to have that lighter space there. So I'm going to clean this off, and I'm going to add a bit more yellow, just because I happen to love crushed curry. And oops, yikes, I wasn't supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be adding it here. Oh, well, don't do that. That's what I get for talking away here and not paying attention, but I think it'll be okay. We will make it work. And just like that, we have this going on here. It's an opportunity to embellish, right? There we go. So I am going to now take my magnets and put them away. And we've got that piece almost done. And to clean this, I use my chamois. Chamois, I cut mine in half. Some people cut them in 4. Some people leave them whole. It's just your preference. But that will clean it all off. So let's move that out of the way and move this out of the way. And we're going to bring this in. I'm going to bring some scrap paper in because, oh, that scrap paper isn't any good. Because I want to do some spattering. Now, when you spatter, you can use your blends, you can use your marker, you can use a paintbrush and a bit of ink. So it's whatever you want to do, but I wanted to soften this up just a little bit. So I'm going to use my blends. This is crumb cake, the light crumb cake, and I'm catching the brush end because I tend to use the bullet end to color with. The brush end in the corner of the cap, and again, you just never know where this is going to go. We had our Christmas card classes last week. We had several of them, and one of them we had to do this, and so some of them said they didn't trust themselves with the blends and they went the paintbrush route, and so it didn't matter. So now we're going to fit the 4U in there. So the 4U is going to be done in Versamark and embossed in gold so that it brings out this. So I'm bringing in my little embossing tray here, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy all over. Just, even though the words are only going down here, just in case some of that ink is still wet. We don't want gold in places that we don't intend it to go. So there, I just tapped it down. I'm going to now bring in my Versamark. I always use an elastic to hold it together just to make sure it's nice and sealed. And I'm going to stick with the 4U. And let's see. So Versamark, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's a clear ink, but it's a sticky ink. So you can make a design with it. You can... so it looks like a watermark on paper, or you can emboss it. You can heat emboss it. So you can, sprinkle some embossing powder on it and then heat it up and it will melt, and it just holds it all in place while you're doing that. So let's see. So see how it's holding the powder? Now when we heat that powder, it will melt and become shiny and lovely. So let's bring in our heat tool. I should have warmed it up, but it'll soon be good. So we're going to heat that up. And you can see it's just starting to melt. Just like that. So you've got it nice and shiny. And I often will hold it under a light just to make sure I've got it all done. I love these tweezers, by the way. They are my favorite thing. I think they're the best tweezers I have ever had. Just saying. So now we're going to bring this in, and we want to stick this to this. And see, once you do that, you're never going to know that it is missing the middle. So I'm going to use this. When I'm working with foil, I don't tend to use liquid glue. It's just a personal preference. Sometimes foil and liquid glue just don't play well together, at least in my books. Now, why am I using my silicone mat? Because this is likely going to hang over the edge, and I just don't want a sticky surface. So I'll do this because it will peel off beautifully. Already it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so now let me see. Where did I put all the pieces of the card? Let's get this back together. So we've got this here. So our next step is to put the vellum on. Now, this is going to cover a lot of the vellum, so I actually can use adhesive, whichever kind I want. And I don't have to worry about it showing because I'm putting it where this piece is going to go. So let's put that there, like that. So we've got it like that, and now I can put this on like this, or I could angle it a little bit too. So again, that would likely depend what I'm going to use it for. If it's more of a fun birthday one, I might want to angle it. Or if I'm somebody who has trouble lining things up, I might want to angle it. If I'm looking for a sympathy card or something, I might make it straight. So which way should I go? At an angle or straight? How about you leave me a message and let me know, angle or straight? And while you're leaving that message for me, I'm going to show you how I did the ribbon. But before I do, well, no, I need my ink open still. Angle or straight. So what I did for the ribbon is I just wanted it to look like it was sticking out the edge. So I see straight first. Okay, we will, oh, I see both. Well, this one is straight, so maybe I should do this one at an angle, and then we'll have both, and then you can visually see it. If you're like me, that makes a difference. So all I did was I took my ribbon and folded it back and forth a few times. So it's not a huge piece of ribbon, and I am going to just have it poking out from the side here. So let's see. Is that where I want it when it's angled? I think it'll still work. So I'm going to put some seal down there, and I'm going to do that again, just like that. And then put it, whoops, that's sticking out too far. Now the nice thing, because I use seal, I can reposition this ribbon several times, and the seal will just allow me to do that. Let's see, I liked what I did before I went to apply the seal. I just want a little bit. I'm being too fussy now, aren't I? So let's see, should we go like that? Yes, that's going to work. So we're going to add dimensionals to that. And I'll even take a little strip of dimensional here and put it over that, and that'll hold the ribbon in place for sure. There, we can put some dimensionals in each corner, and a couple in the middle. Well, yeah, a couple in the middle just to give it support. And just like that. So you can see this is actually an easy card. If you didn't want to do all the different colors here and you were just using a basic stamp, it would be even easier. But I wanted to show you that technique of adding all the different colors because the leaves are starting, whoops, I'm going at an angle. Whoops, I was talking again. The leaves are starting to turn and I love the colors of fall leaves. So there, we have it like that. Now I thought on here I use the brushed metallic adhesive backed. So I use the gold. So you can see you have a lot of choices there. The other option would be the festive pearls. So these are in the mini catalog. So we have these. So should I use the gold festive pearls or the brushed metallic? So festive or brushed? They're festive or brushed pearls. Which ones should I use? Just let me know in the comments. I will tidy this up a little bit. Brushed metallic. Okay, that's the first one that I saw, so that's what we will go with. I'll move this out of the way. I love how many different colors. I've used the copper up on some project or other, but it's just beautiful. Okay. I'm just going to, whoops, no, I have to go there, don't I? In fact, I think I will use a bigger one and I will put it right there and maybe I will even add, oh, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'll fuss with it later, but it's there because of that splotch. And I might change my mind and say, I don't care about the splotch. I like it over here better, which that would work. And I can do something there. So what about the inside? Well, this stamp set has this gorgeous little seedling. Now, how many of you love playing with these as a kid or as an adult? We have quite a few little trees growing in our yard from these kind of seedlings. They fly all over the place. So now I'm going to show you what I would do if I wasn't using the Stamparatus. I would initially start with my lightest color. So I put it in the crushed curry to begin with. And I shouldn't have pressed so hard. Then I would add some of my colors. So here's some, I should bring it into camera. Here is the Cajun Craze. I'm going to add just a bit of Cajun Craze and even less of the Merry Merlot. And then I'm going to breathe on it. So it's just huffing, sort of like you were blowing out a birthday cake without putting your lips together. And then we're going to just, so that's first, then it gets just going to gradually get lighter. And there you have it like that. Now, if I wanted a bit down here, I could breathe on again and get a little bit more down here. It sort of reactivates. You could have embossed this. Ooh, that would have been pretty, wouldn't it? This all embossed in gold. It'd be gorgeous, Judy. Thanks for the idea. I might have to try that. So there you have it. So there are our two cards. There's one that is straight and one at an angle. So now you can, in the comments, tell me which one do you prefer, the straight one or the angle one? And well, I do up my ink pads and then I have a few more things to show you. But I want to do these up before I get ink on everything else. And a good question now is what occasion would you use these cards for? Are the vanilla ones? We talked about the other ones, but which would you use the vanilla ones for? So as we're looking, I see a lot of people liking both ways. What would you use the vanilla cards for? And remember, you can emboss your envelopes and catch the edge like that. And Oh, I'm seeing lots of love. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And those comments just mean the world to me. You have no idea. All right, I wanted to I wanted to show you a couple of other things. I had my downline meeting not long ago, and it was so wonderful to stamp together again. It's been far too long. And those who want to, it's never something they have to do, but those who want to swap. And we've got some fabulous swaps, and I wanted to share with you what they did. So here is one that Carolyn did. So I should take this out. That would make more sense. And so it is a fun fold, just like that. And when you open it up, it's like that. So there, that's with the little bird one. Lynn did this one with the cute Scotty dog that I used last week, and she did the card to go with it. She colored the dog's collar. She did some stamping, and then she did lots of blending. And I like the choices of the colors. Anyone know what two colors these are? They work beautifully together. Any guesses? Where is that gold paper found? Oh, good question, Judy. That gold paper is found in the annual catalog, in the right just after the designer paper. Flip a little bit more, and this page here, it's called Distressed Gold, and it's found right there, the third one over. It's $7, and there's two 12 by 12 sheets in a package. So there it is right there. Lots of good papers on this page, and they're easy to miss. So there you go. So this in case you were wondering, is Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide. And don't they look nice together? So you were pretty close there, Linda. And then here's another one. This one was done by Mark, and she did the floating strip technique, and then this palm tree. She loves to use this palm tree. In fact, she sold me on the palm tree. And then Wendy did this gorgeous one. She was on holiday, so she took her mini Stamp and Cut, an emboss machine, and cut out these flowers from the designer paper and did it this way. So some beautiful, beautiful swaps. And then Marg gave all of us this envelope. Now, can you see? This is that special vellum paper that has designs on it. And then she's used the tags and the flowers and embossed this underneath tag as well. I don't know if you can see it. And look what's inside. So guess who's going to have a yummy treat every once in a while in the craft room? So that is what she did. But I never thought of making an envelope out of the vellum paper, and it just dresses it up, and she used a die to make the scallops. So that works beautifully. Now, it's almost the end of the month, and I do want to share with you something that's coming September 1st. So that is the September 1st promotion. So remember, this is not happening right now. Give us a few days. It's called Perfect Partners. So this will be available all of September. So we have some stamp sets like the Apple Harvest and fresh cut flowers, and I'm going to flip it over and you'll see some more in our catalogs. And now they're going to offer dies to go with them. And so you can now, if you have the stamp set, you can order the dies, sorry, not now, September 1st. Or if you don't have either, if you want them, you can order the bundle. So there's the Apple Harvest bundle. Let me bring it up closer. There's the Fresh Cut Flowers bundle. There's the Playful Piggy stamp set with the dies. Look at all the little wagon alone is almost worth it, but look at all the things that go with that. Or there is the Trimming the Tree bundle. So you've got this is the Trimming the Tree stamp set. It's in the annual catalog, I believe, and then you would get the bundle to go with it. This one here looks pretty amazing. So this is a stamp set in the annual catalog, and all of these dies cut it out and makes amazing stuff. And then in the mini catalog, there's Yeti to Party, and there are these dies to go with it. Now, when I was looking at the mini catalog when it first came out, my grandson was reading beside me, and he happened to look over and he said, That's my favorite one right there. That's because he loves the show Abominable, and that to him just fits. So yes, that is a Yeti, but I changed it around and made it a monster from, oh, to me it reminds me of Monsters Inc. for Halloween. So I'm going to show you how to do this next week. So this is a little sneak peek for next week. This paper, anyone know where this paper came from? That paper is from one of the hostess benefits in this catalog. It's called Celebrate Everything, and it is paper that covers all the different seasons, especially this time of the year. And so I used that right there. So I know I don't usually give you a hint ahead of time of what we're going to do, but I wanted to show you how you can take his face off and not stamp the face and turn it into this. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember, if you want to shop from my website, there it is, and there's the hostess code. And here's one final look at the cards. So there we go. And thank you so much. Take care. Have fun. Bye-bye.